All right, great Monday, almost afternoon. It's still Monday morning. Welcome. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, and with our 15 minutes of mastery that we do each and every day so that you can get your day started with some information, inspiration, and motivation to go out and attack the day. Listen, your morning's done. Hopefully, you've got deal review out of the way for the end of the month, the last week of the month. Hopefully, you're attacking what needs to get done in order to get these last minute deals delivered, funded, whatever needs to get done right now. We're talking about something that is very, very important. Yesterday we talked about being prepared, and we've been talking about making sure that you are staying on top of your game. Now, part of staying on top of your game is staying ahead of folks, right? And so I want to talk to you today about being proactive, why you need to be proactive. John C. Maxwell writes, if you're proactive, you focus on preparing. If you're reactive, you focus on repairing. And God, I love that. That's awesome, right? If you're proactive, you're focusing on preparing. And there's different levels of preparation. There's different things that you should be preparing. We're going to get into that. And if you're focused, if you're reactive, if you're the type of person who's always waiting for things to happen, or you're only moving when things happen, now you're focusing on repairing, on fixing, taking care of that upset customer, things of that nature. We're going to talk about that as we move along in episode number 478 of our 15 minutes to mastery. Listen, more than half of the first quarter 2025 is gone. Can you believe 25 years since the year 2000? For those of you that were around at that time, man, I remember everybody freaking out. What's going to happen in 1999, right? Not only were we partying like it was 1999, but we were talking about what's going to happen in 2000. What's going to happen with the banks? What's going to happen with everything? Oh my God, there's going to be a just this huge failure all across. But can you imagine had no one been thinking ahead of time about that and just waited until 1999 to address that issue and hopefully take care of whatever issues may happen with the date changing from 1900s into 2000s? Okay. Obviously, there were some big brains, some people that were thinking ahead of time and really being proactive with that, and getting systems in place, and testing different things and making sure that to the best of their ability everything was going to go off without a glitch, right, without a hitch, and nobody would the world wouldn't come to an end. And thankfully so it didn't. Here we are 25 years later, and we can talk about it, right? But that's right there, just one example of being proactive. Okay. Because a lot of folks think that by showing up to the office and, hey, I know that I've got a couple things I need to get done. I I haven't really figured out. I know I've got to do marketing. I just don't know what I'm going to be marketing, but I'll get the marketing done when I get there. And yeah, I'm going to obviously make calls because I've got to call people. And, well, hopefully I get this appointment that shows up. I set an appointment last week for today, Monday, and I'm hoping that they'll show up. We'll see what happens with that, right? And they come in and they've got an idea of where they're going, but nothing really in place. So everything, you just feel that you're being pulled in all of these different directions, right? Now compare that to this type of day where you already knew who you needed to call because you had certain customers that were on the fence, right? And those are the first ones that you're going to call. And then you have these others that came in but didn't really make that much of it, didn't make a decision either way. And those are the next you're going to call because those are your easiest to be able to get new business going with. Oh, and by the way, I've got these few things that are pending with my existing pipeline. So I've got to make sure I call this customer for this, and I got to call the bank for that. And I've got to make sure that the factory's on top of this for this house. Oh, and also I know that I'm going to market these two homes, and this is what I'm going to market. These are the pictures. I've got them in place. I'm ready to go with that. And I confirmed my appointment not only yesterday, but I'm calling them this morning to make sure that they show up. Now, when you have that all lined out for you, your day just moves easier, quicker. You are in more control so that when somebody is trying to get you off of your plan, it's easier for you to say no or it's easier for you to tell that person when you're going to be able to handle certain things that they may be requesting of you, because you know what it is that you've got to do. You know when you have it planned out for you. You've got yourself lined up, and now you're just knocking out these things that are moving the needle for you. You see, the reason why a lot of times we take on more and more things and we have trouble telling people no is because we aren't aware of everything that we have to get done. And so you think that you're able to do this, or you think that if you tell that person no, you're saying no when you could have done it, because you don't even realize everything you've got to do. See, so you having a plan is allowing you to be proactive. It's allowing you to run your day. It's allowing you to be more effective and more efficient. It's allowing you to manage your time better, right? Now, I'm not here to tell you that there aren't going to be times that you're going to have to react to things. Look, it happens to me still a lot. As a matter of fact, today we had a team call, and I was talking about that. How, hey man, sometimes I know I'm behind. I know I'm behind on certain things, and I'm trying to get these things knocked out for you. And I'm working on that myself. So that's why a lot of the messages that I bring to you is all from personal experience. It's not because I feel that I'm any better than you. It's just, look, I'm running into these things myself, and this is how we can fix them together, right? But now I'm talking to you right now, those of you that are out there on the sales floor somewhere across the country and talking to customers and trying to get homes sold or trying to get homes delivered and funded. Listen, you can also be reactive when it comes to how you handle your deals, how you handle potential buyers, how you handle your existing clients. It's always better to be proactive than reactive when it comes to those things, because like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, or beginning of today, this morning, was if you're being reactive with your clients, most times you're reacting to problems. And so just like John Maxwell said, if you're reactive, you're repairing. Your focus is on repairing. So you forgot to call a buyer about certain thing. You forgot to include something in the order. Now you're trying to fix something, as opposed to, had you done that from the beginning, made sure, kept yourself organized so you don't lose track of the things you were supposed to get done. Now you're not in reactive mode. Okay. And that's what we want for you. We want you to try. You should be, your goal every day should be to be a step ahead of everyone. I tell everybody, listen, when I got into this business, okay, when I got into the manufactured home industry, and before that, I had my own business, and we were designing homes, so I didn't really have to answer all that much to anybody, right? Just our clients. That was it. But once I got into this out of necessity back in 2009, when I was first learning the business, I came out to a great company, but the management style there was a little more aggressive, and it was more in your face. And I thought to myself, man, I'm a grown ass man, excuse my language, and I don't want to be spoken to that way. Right. So at that point, I vowed, I said, look, the only way that I'm going to be able to keep myself from having to take those types of conversations is by staying 2 steps ahead of everyone else above me in management, ownership. And that was my goal, to always try and stay 2 steps ahead of them, so that when something came up, or if something was needed, it was already taken care of, or I had whatever would be needed. And that's what allowed me to move from sales to operations to sales manager, eventually to general manager, is that mentality of, I just want to stay ahead. I'm going to stay 2 steps ahead, so that I don't have to have those types of conversations with anyone in the company, and hopefully not with buyers, right? And that's what you've got to be doing. And as a high performer, whatever industry you're in, but I'm speaking to you obviously right now, for you to be a high performer in this industry, you need to be proactive. You always see the beautiful thing about this, and the reason why it's so easy to be proactive is this: what you do is repetitive. What you do in this industry is repetitive. You have to market, you have to make phone calls, you have to sell homes. Now, you may have to order homes. You may have to get applications submitted into lenders. You may have to clear conditions, but all of those things are things that you do daily. It's repetitive. It's not like you're learning to do something new each and every day. Now, depending on how long you've been in the business, obviously, I understand that. But what I'm getting at is the tasks within the career choice are the same all the time. So you could easily be proactive and stay ahead because you know what is needed. You know that if you sat in front of a buyer today and they ended up buying, you know everything that needs to happen from that day forward to be able to get the home delivered, right? You know that one, I've got to spec out the home, make sure that they picked all their colors, make sure everything is designed out the way that they wanted, so I can get that to the factory, so I can get the spec back and I review it, make sure it's right in case this deal moves forward so that you can get the home ordered, right? You know that you've got to get all the documentation in place for the application to make sure you get an approval on day one, as opposed to, oh, I forgot to fill this in, or I didn't get this information from them. I didn't get their 2 years worth of rental history or residence history. I didn't get their 2 years of job time and things of that nature. Now I got to call them and wait for them to get me back the answers, the information. You know that you've got to get a site inspection done for the property. You know that you've got to make sure that all of these things are in line to take this deal to fruition. So why not get it done on day one? Why not make sure you slow down to go fast? You take a deal, slow down, take the extra hour, 2 hours with them to make sure you've got all the documentation you need. If, hey, there's a job gap in between those 2 years time, have them write out the letter of explanation right then and there, because you know you're going to need it for your lender anyway. See, too many of us want to take a deal to get it done, get the people out of our office so that we can move on to the next thing. Or maybe you're just rushing through because you don't want them to get cold feet. I don't know what it would be. Okay. But you don't want to be rushing through these things and missing out on this. That is you being proactive. Get everything done ahead of time. You get the spec ordered. You know, you told your buyer you were going to get back to them in 2 days. Make sure you relay that information to your factory, that you get that back in time so that you can make sure you're following through on that phone call, that you're getting that information back. Proactive, be ahead, but you've got to know what you're after. You see, most of us can't plan our days. Most of us can't see this whole thing playing out because we don't even know what we're after. You have to understand what it is that you're after. Because if you know what you're after, the roadmap, the road to accomplish it gets so much clearer for you. Now it's just a matter of putting in the work. And that is the difference between a high-performing sales consultant or community manager and your average sales consultants. Those high performers are proactive. Those high performers already know what they're after, know what needs to get done, and they're just making sure they're getting it all handled real time, right then and there, to save them time as they're moving forward. That's where you need to be going. That's what you need to be working at. If that is not you, it's going to make your life so much easier. It's going to make you a whole lot more money, and you're going to help a lot more families along the way. So get yourself to become one of those proactive people. So what is it going to take for you? What are the 5 things to help make you a proactive sales consultant or community manager? First and foremost, you got to realize that you've never arrived. You have to stay hungry. You have to keep learning. You have to keep growing. You have to keep, you get the MH Insider magazine at your location, or any other sort of industry information or something from your factories. Read it, look at it. What's in there? What's in that magazine, or what's in that information that you could use to feed your mind, to grow a little bit more, to learn a little bit more about the industry, whether it's from a factory standpoint, whether it's from a lending standpoint, whether it's about communities, the product. What can you learn? Because the more you learn, obviously, the more you earn, but the more you learn, the more motivated, the more confident, the more competent, the better you are at your career. It's not even a job, it's a career, right? But you've got to understand you've never arrived. There's always something to learn. There's always something to improve. There's always something to grow at. Make sure that you are going after that. Continued education. That's right, Rose. Continuing your education. We always keep learning. The next thing, you have to have that one more mindset. One more. The Power of One More. Ed Milet has a great book called The Power of One More. And in that, he talks about how you just need to do that one more rep, that one more phone call, post that one more ad, send out that one more email. Understand that there's always one more thing that you can do. And the quicker you become the type of person who goes above and beyond the expectation, not just enough, I said I was going to do this and that's what I'm doing and that's it. When you give a little bit extra, when you just become the type of person who's always giving extra, you are going to get repaid handsomely for that. You may think up front right now, well, I'm putting extra work on myself. It's costing me extra money. It's costing me more time. You're investing in your future. You're investing in your growth. When you become the type of person who is that type of person who's always going to give more, one more, you're just going to get repaid for it. I promise you. It's those of us who are just trying to do just enough that always wind up not getting ahead. When you do just enough, okay, you're never going to learn more than what you should. You're never going to do more than what you should. And you're never going to become that type of person that is going to be operating at a higher level. It's not about just enough. It's about one more. Give more, be more, do more. The next thing, continuously look for ways to improve. Going back to that comment that Rose said, what can get better? We were talking about that this morning in our team meeting. What can we always have to be looking at things. Look, we're 2 years into this, and what our business, our company looks like right now, 2 years into it, is not what it's going to look like next year. I made it very clear to everyone. We should not look the same a year from now. We should have different team. We should have increased our team members. We should have increased our offering. We should have increased our programs. We should have improved on our branding. Everything needs to continuously improve. And it's everybody's responsibility to make sure that they're looking out for what can I improve. Right. So, and the same thing for you. Continuously looking for ways to improve. The next thing is have huge goals. Obviously, you're not going to want to learn more. You're not going to want to do a little bit extra. You're not going to be looking for ways to continuously improve if you don't have huge goals. If your goals are crap, then why are you some people limit themselves on their goals so they don't have to put in the work, so they don't have to get better. They know that if look, the only way I'm going to do something big with this career, the only way that I'm going to take myself from delivering 30 homes to 60 homes, so I'm going to have to get better. I'm going to have to improve my offering, and I'm going to have to always improve on the things that I'm doing. And some people don't want to do that. So it's not that they can't, it's that they choose not to put in the work, because they're not driven by huge goals. So you've got to have those huge goals that pull you each and every day, 7 days a week. That is what's calling you. And then lastly, you want to always look to be a step ahead. Like I mentioned to you, stay a step ahead from your managers to your owners, to your clients, to everyone. If you can work at staying a step ahead, you will always, you more times than not, are going to keep yourself out of having to fix things, having to take care of fires, having to take care of upset customers, having to take care of upset family members. Man, it's the same thing, right? Same thing I tell my children, my boys, like, man, you know what's expected of you. Just get it done. Get it done. You don't want to hear it. When we talk to you, when we say these things and you're responding back with that, now, here we go again. Well, then freaking get it done. And that will always serve you, whether it's in business or in life. Folks, that is what it's going to take for you to be proactive. And by being proactive, as John Maxwell said, if you're proactive, your focus is on preparation. It's about preparation. And obviously, with the preparation, execution, massive action. Go out and do great things. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Enjoy your lunch if you're getting out on lunch right now. But get on out, attack it. It's the last week of the month. It's a month in. Do some fantastic things. March is right around the corner. All right. Looking forward to hearing from everyone and their results. You guys have a great week. We'll be talking again tomorrow with another 15 minutes to mastery. And until then, my friends, as always, can't wait to meet you.